as you can see, I've reached 30 subscribers, and in order to celebrate that, I've decided to make a Genshin tier list on how the Genshin Impact characters would survive in the Warhammer 40k universe. And in this case, to what allegiance would they find themselves if they were faced to choose within the Chaos Gods? Now, the tier list part is inspired by the magnanimous Kumax, so be sure to follow her. I'll put a link in the description. I hope I figured that out. But I wanted to make a different tier list, which was in the 40k, which is how they fare in the Imperium of Man, but I realized that I forgot a lot of things, and by that I mean the different regiments. There are a lot of them, okay? You can't blame me. So once I re-educate myself on the regiments, the legions, the Primarchs, like the basics of Imperium, then I'm going to make a tier list on that, because I want to make sure that the quality is at least up to snuff, because it's a 30 subscriber special, and the last thing I wanted to give you guys was a half-assed video. So, in this tier, we have Khorne, which he is the god of warfare, rage, and murder, and although these gods are interpreted as evil, they also represent different parts of that concept, well, all the parts of that concept. While he represents warfare, rage, and murder, he also represents honor, respect, and all the good parts of battle as well as bad parts of battle. Same with Tzeentch. Although Tzeentch is the god of trickery, he's also the god of sorcery, he's also the god of change. He believes there's a way to change one's fate, that nothing is set in stone. So that's Tzeentch. We have Slaanesh, which is the god of pleasure and excess, but it represents the passion of humanity, the passion of living beings. You know, to have a good time, to enjoy food, drink, song, dance, all of that. That's what Slaanesh represents as well. And Nurgle, well, this one's a little bit difficult because he's the god of pestilence, disease, despair, and decay. But in a way, there is peace to be found knowing that eventually all will end. And Nurgle probably represents the finality, but he also represents a change of the body and the inevitability that we will all rot away. So you could find some peace in that if you're a nihilist, but you know. So these are the 4 gods, and we're gonna see how all of these characters will fare in the in this tier list. So let's start with Yelan. Ooh, okay. Now, Yelan is quite an interesting character. I'm tempted to put her on either Tzeentch or Khorne, because she has a lot of information, but I don't think she fights necessarily for the information. As she said before, she didn't take the job at Yangshan Tea House, or the job as Tien. What was Uncle Tien's position? Tianshu? He didn't take Uncle Tien's position because she liked the frill, and so the frill of her job. So she's going right on Khorne tier. Kuki Shinobu. I'd say Kuki would go in the Tzeentch tier. She's not one, privy to combat, but she is one to attain as much skill as possible. And with Tzeentch, the god of a lot of Warhammer's equivalent of wisdom, only the wisdom you get from Tzeentch is gonna blow your head up. Next up, Sire. You're going straight with Papa Nurgle. You're probably gonna see Nurgle and say, "Can you make me taller?" And Nurgle's gonna say, "Yeah, sure thing." You turn into a 6-foot-tall abomination. And you like sleeping. Nurgle represents finality, so there you go. Kale. Oh my. Oh god. Yeah, you're going. I feel bad putting her there. I really do. I really do feel bad putting her there. Because she got Elazar, and that's something You know what would be funny? I'll make it a pause right here. Imagine if the knowledge that King Deshret brought on to his people was actually just Nurgle's plague. And that's like the truth behind the world of Teyvat that's connected to the Warhammer 40k universe. That'd be just hilarious. But, we have the Travelers, and they came from beyond this world. And I know they would not survive a day in the Warhammer 40k universe. Because if they go to the Imperium of Man, they are going to die because they came from beyond and they want to usurp the Emperor, the Imperium. They won't even be able to take on a single Custodes. Well, nobody can, of course, but Next up, Shincho. Ooh. So either Zinch or Korn. I need to know what he prioritizes more, because he likes reading and writing books, but he also is a disciple of the Guhua clan. I think he's going to be more of a Zinch person, but he's more... Yeah. I'm not going to put him in Slanesh, okay? I'm not going to put him in Slanesh. That's just not going to be in my MO. I'm sorry. He's a little boy. So I'm going to say I'll keep you at Zinch, because frankly... Yeah, Zinch. Because if I put you up at Korn, that means you just like to battle. But you became a Guhua disciple for a reason. So you know what? Yeah, Korn you go. Fischl. You want to change your fate to actually be the Prinzessin de Verötterlung? Go ahead, Amy. You do you. Nahida, you and Zinch will get along like a hot on fire. What was that term again? I'll just put it here because I can't remember it. But you will get along very well. I want to see a battle of wits between these two. Nahida will most definitely fail, but still. Travelers. They're good fighters, so you could say Korn. Yeah, let's put him at Korn. Like they're not really knowledge seekers besides trying to find their sister. And I know for a fact that if Aoife or any of these, the traveler goes and talks to Zinch, like, where's my sister? His head's gonna pop. Yai Miko, you're going straight here, Missy. You know what? You know why. Shinyan, you like music. You're very passionate about what you do, so naturally you're gonna be in the Slanesh because music and everything. Sucrose, either in Zinch. Yeah, I see Zinch. Zinch or Nurgle. Here's the thing though. Zinch, because she can gain more knowledge on how to be better at alchemy and sorcery and whatnot, but Nurgle, because she might be convinced to create some sort of medicine or something like that, but she's not necessarily a doctor. Like, she does practice medicine, as we saw in the Windbloom festival, but she prioritizes mostly on bioalchemy. And while that does also in a way relate to Nurgle, I feel like Sucrose would have, well, none of these people would have enough common sense to join any of the Chaos Gods, so I think out of both of them, she'd probably be persuaded by Zinch, because he's the god of trickery and all that stuff, so she'd probably get souped up by Zinch in no time. Klee, straight here. One of Korn's champions you're gonna be. Yao, straight to Papa Nurgle you go. First of all, even though she's a happy-go-lucky person, we are not gonna put her near Slanesh. She's not going anywhere near that tier, even though she's right below, but you know what I mean. We are going to put her in Nurgle because she throws radishes and they cure you. And most likely Nurgle's going to offer her like a soup and she's going to try it. And we have a mutated Yao. She's not really all that into battle. She was more like taught by Cloud Retainer and the Adepti. And I don't think she's really all into knowledge and Zinch and whatnot. So Nurgle feels like it fits her the most. Now Goro. I say Korn. And I'm not going to put her in Slanesh because of Yai, because I feel like Goro's going to see Yai at Slanesh and be like, Korn, take me, please. You're going straight to Nurgle. Nurgle's going to offer Diona literally the most deadliest cocktail, and Nurgle's going to be pledge myself to me, and you will be able to destroy Mondstadt's wine industry. And she would do it in a snap of a finger. You know she'd take it. Out of all of these people who's going to follow Nurgle, Diona is going to be the one to follow Nurgle the most. Just out of spite. Candace, you're going right up to Korn. There you go. Same with Kujo Sara. I mean, these two are protectors, generals, and Aloy, you're a hunter, so you're going right there. D-Luke, you're also going up to... You're not going up to Zinch, you're going right up to Korn. Xiangling, you like cooking, so that could be like a candidate for Slanesh. Or she might be taken by Nurgle. All I don't really... Actually, I can see her being convinced to go to Nurgle in order to see if she can make a good dish out of whatever Nurgle gives her. Because we know that Xiangling likes to be creative with her dishes. And I feel like going to Nurgle is like a way to challenge herself on to make a good dish from the ingredients that the god of pestilence would give her. And I feel like Xiangling might be able to make something decent out of that. So I'm going to put her in Nurgle because I like that concept. Eula, you're going straight to corn right there, straight to corn. You are a warrior through and through. Now, I could put her at Tzeentch because she tries to change her fate. She tries to break herself from the shackles of revenge. And that seems like something that Tzeentch would definitely favor. Like, your fate is not set in stone. You try your best to break yourself from the ties of the past in order to change your future. And that's pretty poetic. So between Korn and Tzeentch, I feel like Eula would definitely try and Tzeentch because her whole story is about trying to change her, trying to break out of the chains that she's been born with. And I feel like Tzeentch would very much approve of that. Ito, you're either Korn or Slaanesh. Yeah, he's going to Slaanesh. Man's too bombastic, too passionate. Slaanesh is gonna eat that right up. What did I say? Amber, very passionate, not too keen on battle, but you are an outrider, so I could put you either on Slaanesh or Korn. That does bring a question. I'm gonna go with Slaanesh. She's a very passionate person, and she's very outgoing and whatnot, and good friend. So I feel like all that passion for a good time or having fun with her friends and all that, something that Slaanesh would probably favor. Next up, Hu Tao. Nurgle right there. Hand in hand. Gonna be one of the champions of Nurgle. That's one. Nope, that's a lie. That is a lie. She is probably gonna go up with either Tzeentch or Korn. And I'm not gonna put her at Nurgle because the whole point of the Wangchun funeral parlor was to fix the disbalance that life and death happened. Well, to fix the border because so many people were dying during the Archon War that their whole job as a funeral parlor was to cleanse the dead and whatnot. So I feel like she'd probably go for Korn, but they weren't really known for fighting. They were more known to clean and whatnot. So maybe eventually, after so much death in the Warhammer 40k universe, she eventually gets consumed by Nurgle. Because although she is tact, and it might be something that Tzeentch would find favorable, because she is wise. Hu Tao is wise and very philosophical. So she might find herself in the Tzeentch category. So either good ending she gets with Tzeentch, which is she's still probably going to get her head popped, or bad ending she gets consumed and gets Nurgle-fied. I'd say like putting her at Nurgle tier is a complete defamation of her whole lineage and character, and I feel like that would fit perfectly in the Warhammer 40k universe. A fall from grace. Kazuha would definitely be with Tzeentch, because he's all about change and following the wind and whatnot. And he's not really too keen when it comes to battle, but just to wander around and go wherever the wind pleases. I feel like that would either go with Tzeentch, or he's a smoker and he's gonna go straight to Slaanesh. Yeah, sure, I'll keep him as Tzeentch. Okay, let's see. We have Kamisato Ayaka. This one's a very interesting one. Like, naturally you would say Korn, and I'd be inclined to agree. And yeah, Korn you go. Bennett, you're somehow gonna find yourself. Look. I feel like him getting thrown into the warp is bad luck already. But getting into either any of these four, which would be the worst one for Bennett? Would it be Slaanesh? Probably. Tzeentch? I don't think he'd get anywhere near Zinch, considering let's see, Korn, maybe he is an adventurer, but the worst fate for the adventurer Bennett is to be a slow, bumbling mess of pestilence, pus, and just boils all over his body, unable to move on with his adventures. And I feel like that'd be the worst luck for him. So I think this would be the worst fate for Bennett. As unfortunate as it is, he'd find himself with Nurgle, because that's just how shit his luck is. Yoimiya, you're going straight over here to Slanesh. Like Amber, you are a very bombastic person. So far, out of all of these, except Yai, these have all proven to be people who go on the positive side on Slanesh, if you can look at it that way. Yunjin, I'd say also Slanesh. She focuses on the arts, on the works, and really puts in her passion into her arts and crafts. Into her craft. Why did I say arts and craft like it's a study class? Yeah, you're going straight to Slanesh. Oh dear, Dory. Now one could say that Dory's passion for money could put her in Slanesh, and I'm just gonna put her in Zinch because she's a little one, and I'm not gonna put any of them near Slanesh. You can do that on your own. I'm not doing that. Why? Because her extensive knowledge of commerce in order to rise above everybody else when the system and status quo would impede one to do so. I don't know what I said there, but basically she rose above by whatever means necessary, and I think Zinch would approve of somebody who would do whatever it takes to achieve their desired fate. We're going to Nurgle. Nurgle would love Tainari to just get that doctor in there, that a murder researcher, and just create the most abominable biological pathogens possible. Now Tainari, you wouldn't think that Tainari would want this, but like Hu Tao, it could be a fall from grace. Who knows? Maybe too many people were coming in sick, and maybe it was due to Kale falling into Elazar that Tainari just started working harder and harder, and eventually just was driven to the breaking point and tried to seek out some form, and Nurgle offered an answer to keep them alive. But obviously there was a trick to it. But still, Tainari, maybe even while serving Nurgle, still tries to find a definite cure to the pestilence. As many as they are. Okay, next up, Rosaria. You're going right up to Korn. You're a blood-soaked executioner, and Korn would love that. Barbara. I wouldn't think of anywhere to put you other in Slanesh, because Nurgle, again, could be a fall from grace situation, but she's not really focused as a healer of the church. She's an idol, so she's clearly very passionate about her craft, and I don't want to put her in Slanesh, because do you know who else is going to be in Slanesh? That's going to be Albert, and it's going to be hell on earth for Barbara, and she might just you know what? Actually, she gets converted to Slanesh, but then sees Albert and immediately just gets filled with violent rage and turns over to Korn thanks to Rosaria. That's my headcanon, because Albert is here, and Albert's going to be here. So we're going to put her right there. She's going to become the second champion of Korn. Kokomi strategizes, and she's a war person, so that's all well and good with Korn. Chi-Chi. I've come to realize that a lot of the little ones are found with Nurgle, and that, I don't know how to feel about that. Papa Nurgle loves you, little ones. I mean, Chi-Chi's already a zombie. What more? It's literally the perfect scenario. A zombie. Made perfectly for Nurgle. And so, yeah. It still disturbs me that most of the little characters are found in the Nurgle tier. Nilu. Passionate about her dancing, so she's gonna go in the Slanesh tier. Faruzan in the Zinch tier. She's already functionally immortal, so Wait, did her immortality stay after she got out, or did it get dispelled? I don't know. All I know is that she lived for 100 years. I didn't get the chance to upgrade her friendship levels. But considering she is a researcher, I don't see her particularly, bumping shoulders with Nurgle. Is that how you say, like, getting on good terms? I don't know. Due to the fact that she's more of a mechanical person, and she's not much of a fighter, and her passion doesn't really rub well with Slaanesh. Haha. But with Tzeentch, I think it works well because trickery, and although it is sorcery, maybe Faruzan can still find a way to garner something from it. To try and make a science out of it. Venti, you're going straight here, you fucking drunk. Now, yeah, out of all of these, you could say Venti is very well possible to go with Tzeentch. And I would not doubt it. He is the god of freedom, the god who was born from the branches of time and whatnot. And that is the literally epitome of the guise, literally the branch of fate itself. That is literally something Tzeentch would grab in a heartbeat. And because of that, I'm tempted to put it, I'm going to keep him at Tzeentch because it makes perfect sense. Venti is a lot more knowing than what he gives credit for. And just because we see him drunk bard, I feel like that would just be a disservice to the character itself when we know damn well that Venti is a lot wiser than we give it for. Unless it's like for, gag tiers, like, who would be passed out drunk in a drinking game, it would be Venti. He'd be fucking 50 shots in. But I want to try and keep at least some seriousness to the character, so yeah, Venti's gonna go into Tzeentch tier. Chongyun. This one's difficult. See, he's a thaumaturge, and he has a positive yang energy. That would probably pique Tzeentch's interest. And since he has to always keep a level head cool with his emotions, yeah, he's going definitely on Tzeentch tier. Because if he gets too emotional, he's gonna die. So that already puts him out of the game for Slaanesh. Nurgle we don't speak on because nothing with Nurgle. Same with Korn. So I think Tzeentch is the appropriate tier for Chongyun. High yang energy, thaumaturge, and level-headed emotions. Tzeentch would approve of that. Lisa. She denied knowledge that was given and chose to live her life in eternal laziness. So either Nurgle or Slaanesh. Yeah, you're going to Slaanesh. I think we all knew that. Mona, you're going straight to Tzeentch. Fate is literally written all over your story. And what better god to follow than the god who wants to change fate itself? Well, who offers a change of fate. Layla is probably going to go in the same tier, but fell asleep and found herself in the pits with Nurgle. Like, she was going to go to Tzeentch, but she, slept and collapsed, and all of a sudden woke up and just saw Chi-Chi next to her and, hello. And she was like, what the fuck? And then just started coughing and got, fucking stage 86 cancer or something like that. Yeah, you're going straight up to Korn. Actually, you wanted to delete yourself from history, Tzeentch. Actually, this is after the Archon quest. Core. Actually, I don't know. Look. The thing about Wanderer is that he wants a heart. And he's not really too much for emotions, so Slaanesh is out of the way. Even though deep down he is a very emotional person. And you could think that Slaanesh would find a way to convince him of that. He'd be like, oh, you want to see your mommy, little boy? You want to see your mommy, huh? You want to cry, little boy? You going to cry? And it's going to be, no, I'm not going to cry. And then he sees the eye there, and he's like, oh, fuck that, I'm going to Korn. Gets too filled with anger. Albedo. Ooh. Nurgle or Tzeentch? He wants to understand the nature of this world, and naturally you'd think putting him with Tzeentch would be a good idea, but then we also have that whole story quest with him, and it makes you feel like he's a little bit of a Nurgle at heart. and also the Shadow Element Snowstorm event makes you think, you're looking a little nergly there, Albedo. But his main goal is to find the truth of this world, and that aligns well with Zinj. Sino, he's gonna go well with Korn. He's honorable, respectful, and dishes out judgment. And I think that's someone he can see eye to eye with Korn. Even though the wars and everything, Sino will definitely not stand for, because that's, against a lot of things. But out of all of them, I think he'd align himself more with Korn. Yanfei. Zinj is the most likely person. I put her in Slanesh because of her bombastic personality and her wanting to be a rapper. But she wants to know the ins and outs of laws and, create a world in which the laws are foolproof in a way. Where they won't be used to hurt anybody, in which it can actually just be used to help people. Kaya. You're going right here, buddy. You're going right here, buddy. I know there are arguments that you can make that he could probably be a Zinj because he wants to break past the ties of his past and move on forward. But he's constantly lying to himself sometimes, and sometimes he just wants to believe that he's free. Well, that's what he tells us. We don't really know his internal monologue, and due to how much he plays around, he might fall into Slanesh sooner or later. So that's my choice. Next up, we have Keqing, the Yuheng. I'll put her right here. She is very defiant, and she has a whole MO about we need to be prepared for today in order to change the future. So aligns well with Zinj. Toma, oh my, this one's a difficult one. He's not really one to change his fate. He's not much of a fighter either, so I'd say he's a good old Slanesh person. You saw how he was wooing the ladies in Rito. You know where he's going. Zhongli. I put him in Zinj, and I put Ayato in Zinj as well, since he wants to provide a better future. Okay, I don't know why we have... Okay, moving on to Hazo. Gonna go to a Zinj, and he's gonna get his head popped. Al-Haytham, you're going straight to Zinj. This man would not give two shits for Slanesh. He would not give two shits for Slanesh. Nor Nurgle, nor Korn. Man said Zinj, interesting knowledge. He's out of all of these, he probably wouldn't give a shit about the for Chaos Gods. Because that's how much this man just does not care. But yeah, out of all of them, Zinj. You're going straight to Korn, Missy. Those red ropes are the only thing that's binding you and to keep your emotions hindered. You get that shit out, you're gonna become the third champion of Korn. Same thing with you. Beto took out Haishan without her vision. Straight up there. Noelle, you could be a champion of Korn. It's whoever asks her first. Next up, Razor. You're going right up here with Korn, buddy. You want to be a wolf so bad. So go fight like one. Ganyu. The G-A-N-U. I said that I spelled that poorly as G-A-N-Y-U, but, ignore that. Out of all of them, she's devoted to her contract with Rex Lapis, so that... Out of all these, I don't see which one helps the most. But I think that, probably Korn. She has fought a lot, and she doesn't really seem too keen on changing her fate. So I think out of all of them, she'd probably just fight if she was told to fight. So here you go. I gotta move this now. Okay. Next up, we have Tartaglia. You're going straight here, buddy. Straight here. You know that story about the orcs who were accepted by Korn and were, blessed to fight eternally. Every time they died, they'd be brought back and they would just continue fighting. Those orcs were living the Warhammer equivalent of heaven for them, and that would also be Child. Child would be an orc. That's all I gotta say. Child would be an orc. Okay, next up we have Ningguang. You're going straight to Tzeentch. You're going straight here, Missy. You do your best in order to ensure the future of your people and make sure that the people of Liyue aren't dependent of the gods in order to change the old ways. And I think Tzeentch would favor that. Jean. Oof. See, deep down she's a romantic at heart, and that would, probably get her to Slaanesh, but she'd probably have a cardiac arrest at that point, so she's probably just gonna be she's probably just gonna stick to what she's best doing at, and that's being a champion of Khorne. Because if she goes to Slaanesh, she's gonna have a fucking heart attack. Same with you. Raiden is gonna go here, because she'd be damned if she goes with Nurgle. Nurgle literally represents the end. And although Khorne represents bloodshed, which is also a form of death, out of all of these, A is good at killing, and I think that's what she's best at. And by some way, she'll find a way to perpetuate eternity via bloodshed, unfortunately. And same with Xiao. Xiao, you're gonna go right here to Khorne. And, Yakshas serve to kill the gods, fight god remains, whatnot, pretty self-explanatory. Now, this tier list was from 3.4 and it excluded the characters from 3.5 and also the characters that are coming from 3.6, as well as the Harbingers. So I am going to change that right here, and I'm going to add the next two characters. Mika. Now, Mika, I can see him being at Tzeentch. Due to the fact that I don't think he's too privy for combat, and him being so shy and whatnot, he got his head popped, definitely. He got his head popped by Tzeentch, but still. Since he's a surveyor and reconnaissance person, he wants to do his best in order to learn the geography and whatnot. So I could see him at Tzeentch. Next up, we have Dia, straight up Khorne. You're gonna be a champion of Khorne, and I know damn well Khorne's gonna treat you better than Hamihoyo did. Next up, Kaveh. Oh, Kaveh. You're going to Slaanesh, buddy. You already know, you hapless drunk. Get over there. Get over there, you silly little goose. Now, Baizhu. You'd think I put him in Nurgle, but he has a desire for immortality and eternal life, and that's gonna bring him over to Tzeentch. Now, a part of me, the more emotional side of me says he'll go to Nurgle in order to protect Chi-Chi. But as Chi-Chi's story suggests, when Baizhu tries to say that he loves her when trying to stop her from doing something, Chi-Chi doesn't sense any amount of weight or sympathy when Baizhu says that. So that alone just makes me want to put him in Tzeentch, because, he just wants immortality, and if there's another way to get that, he'd probably go for it. So, next up, the Harbingers. Going by order in the Winter Night's lasso, because my brain is too smooth. We have Signora. Now, Signora is going right at the Khorne. She's going with Khorne, and she's going to stay with Khorne. She literally burned her way through to that, burning everything around her like those orcs. That's gonna make her a champion, straight up.
Let the seas boil. Let the stars fall. Though it takes the last drop of my blood, I will see the galaxy freed once more. And if I cannot save it from your failure, Father, then let the galaxy burn.
Next up, we have Pierrot, going right with Tzeentch. I mean, the man is a sage. Tzeentch is about sorcery. And hero has an ambition to change the world's fate and overthrow the rule of the gods. Well, who else here besides Korn? Next up, we have Columbina. Now, Columbina is a special case because you could put her in just about anywhere, in my opinion, due to her whole fallen angel and seraphim aesthetic. But I wouldn't put her with Nurgle, even though she is sleepy. And only difference is that besides Sayu, she'd probably be aware enough that she's getting sucked in by Nurgle and says nope. So I'd say that Columbina could either be in Slaanesh or Tzeentch. Because from her personality, it seems that Columbina, from what we gathered with Scaramouche and Child, is that she has like a facade of sorts, but not as defined as how they say about Arlecchino. But she just has something is up with her. So I think that's gonna go with Tzeentch, because that's how unknowable she is. So next up, Pulcinella. Honestly, I don't know where do I put the Mayor Snezhnaya at? Like Khorne? He does lead multiple division troops, so we can put him at Khorne because he did lead the Chasm expedition crew. And I don't really see him being in the Tzeentch tier. He's just a leader, from what we know so far. Slaanesh, I don't really see that in Ireland Nurgle, so I can put him at Khorne because he does lead a lot of troops and he did recruit Child. So you could see him as, Pulcinella's like, hey, Child, this Khorne guy's pretty cool, huh? Hey, you want me to get some candy to your kids? To your brothers, I mean, not kids. Whoa, calm down there. Okay, next up we have Pantalone. Yeah, you're going to Slaanesh, buddy. That money, although from what I can gather, he could be very intelligent, very level-headed, would probably not fall into the Slaanesh tier. He'll fill in for Dory. That's just my go at it, because although he wants to, fix the imbalance between man and god, and that's probably something that Tzeentch would like. Okay, I gotta be objective. Yeah, put him at Tzeentch. Next up, Dottore. Put him at Tzeentch as well. That man is... If Tzeentch wasn't there, he'd be straight up with Nurgle. But yeah, Tzeentch. Oh, hell, he'd be in every one of the gods. He'd be following every god and see how much blasphemy he can do. Definitely. Okay, next up, Arlecchino. This one's an interesting one. From what I can gather, Child says she's batshit crazy. And Scaramouche says that she is a wolf in sheep's clothing. So she's not defined as a warrior. She's just defined as a very scary person, a very scary woman who makes me tremble in my pants and who makes me want to say mommy. What? Now, out of all of them, I'd say I'm not really going to put her in Tzeentch because she might do a little bit of trickery, but compared to the god of trickery, what the hell am I talking about? Everybody here, except like Venti or Al-Haytham, is going to get their head popped when they go with Tzeentch or Nahida. So what makes Arlecchino any different? She's a wolf in sheep's clothing. She's a trickster, in a way. Yeah, you're going right to Tzeentch. Let's see, who's next? We have... Sandrone. Yeah, you're going with Tzeentch. Although you do have like a 0 to 100 personality, and you go batshit crazy sometimes. So you're gonna go with Khorne due to the fact that you've killed a fuck ton of people, I would assume, considering that you have a habit of producing copious amounts of garbage, and from what I've gathered, you make a lot of dolls. So you are probably a mass murderer. So you're probably gonna go right here. Next up, Capitano, straight up of Khorne. Honorable, powerful, strong, combat. Literally gonna be one of the high champions of Khorne, if that's a thing. So, let's see. Anybody else? I think that's about it. Yeah. So, this is the tier list. and I hope you guys enjoyed. I'd say I'm pretty satisfied with this tier list. Of course, if you guys have different opinions on some of these characters and where they be put, be sure to tell me in the comments. I'd love to read them. And yeah, I wish you a good day, night, wherever you are, and I wish you all the best. Peace.